Hi, and welcome back to the channel. This is Florence from the One More Book podcast, and I am back with a special vlog. This is me taking you along to Nigeria with me. I recently traveled to Lagos, Nigeria to attend the 13th edition of Aké Arts Book Festival. Each year, this is a festival that I've followed online for I would say the last 2 years, and this year something just stuck in me that maybe this is the year that you should attend it. And lo and behold, this is me taking a flight to Nigeria. I'm so excited, but as you can see, I am also very tired. It was an early morning flight. I had to be at the airport by 4 a.m. because my flight was at 6, and I had not slept the previous day, because who sleeps before a long flight? I don't. So I was really tired. I was so nervous. I knew I had everything. The process went smoothly, I would say. Of course, I had to apply for a visa, and it took some time, but I finally got it. And then just getting everything ready. If you have a family, you just know how traveling does not mean you're planning for yourself. You have to plan for the ones that remain behind. So all that and work, I took time off work. I'm self-employed, which means I am actually taking unpaid time off. So it took a lot of juggling, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, but I am so happy that I'm here, that I'm on this flight, that I'm going to experience everything that was ahead of me. And I was just mesmerized. I was grateful. It was more than I'd expected. It exceeded what I'd imagined, and I would definitely recommend this trip if you are interested in traveling to one of the African countries for arts and book festival. outfit of the evening or night. It's almost midnight. We are going for dinner at the hotel where we're staying, so just needed something simple. So it's just pants and a scarf. I just tied a scarf, and I think I just wear sandals because it's just indoors. Yeah, I am starving, so let's go get something to eat. Lagos night 1.
Was into spaces where they had to become activists, and they had to explain or defend their womanhood or even their Africanness. So in the first 10 years of Aké Festival, we featured our festival headliners on the cover of Aké Review after headlining Aké Festival in 2016. My mother tells people the story always in front of my face, which is to say her face, which is to say my face, and sometimes I am the only people she tells. But she must know I was there. She must know I remember. But every time I climbed a tree, I was becoming her daughter. Ringing in her ears like a siren. Is he dumb or what? She narrows her eyes at him. He shows up late and all he cares about is a window. She steps forward and looks at her brother. She is annoyed as usual. It feels like sometimes she can't go a whole day without being annoyed by him. Where the hell were you? Her voice comes out harsher than she imagined it could, especially at a time like this. Even Nena, crawling slowly to her feet by
to feel it deeply, and if I feel it deeply, then hopefully it comes across on the pages.
But when you say feeling it deeply, what does that look like? Is it just sitting with the character and you have the storyboard and you just, or you have what's it called, a mood board, and you just stare? Like I just want to know what does feeling it deeply mean?
So before I
because I mean we all hear the rumors about how stylish Congolese men are.
I like your shoes.
Thank you.
Nice shoes.
So for me it was very important that I wasn't outdone on my home turf. So to my constituents, I might make you proud. And also a round of applause to this very stylish good looking man.
Frère Lachaise. Try as you may, you can't stop dwelling on the memory of the long procession escorting you through the main street of Pointe-Noire. The parading of a corpse before burial is common practice in this town. People embrace it as a mark of homage to the deceased, giving them a lively send-off. you are carried by 6 well-shouldered colossi with rippling muscles, wearing white suit and shiny black shoes with pointed tips. Here we go. Their job is to execute orders, not to wonder how the person they are carrying came to die. They'll stick to the route prescribed by the benevolent.
With them in the days following the wedding. They followed them everywhere, washing their feet and braiding their hair. But here she was, a stranger in a new world, wishing that at any time in her 21st sonnet, her mother had told her how much bringing forth life would feel like death. Calm down, Warren, I can't hear your child's heartbeat if he keeps screaming down the temple. The midwife's shrill voice cut through her thoughts. Oh God, help me, please, forever prayed, and lifted her gaze to the reddish-brown walls that seemed to close in on her. On them were signed portraits of women, wives of past high priests. Their dark eyes peered into her soul, hundreds of them. Had they been as terrified as she was, had they left this room alive? A few moments later, the midwife's eyes looked at Barney's. Her shoulders dropped and she shrunk back. I hear nothing.
To be black characters as the main character, and for me it was really important if I'm going to get my child reading books for her to see herself in the books. And so pulling up to my book, when I was writing it, something that was really important to me was a book that, as you assuming, whether it's the mother, father, principal caregiver, reading along, you will first of all see a label that's recognisable. Shout out to Adolfina Moide, who
there's certain characters that are always on those, in those series. And for me, the big issue was that young people can't relate as well to people who lived in that, what seems now like in those times. And I started seeing Tunde's, the stuff he was doing on social media, and I was fascinated by the kind of deep respect that people seem to have for his work. And I thought to myself, when I kind of dug around and learned more about him, that this is actually the kind of hero that Nigerian children need to read about. This is somebody that they can see. And I'm not
just focus on teaching the kids. It was a painful sacrifice to make at the time, because I was 23, but I did it. Now fast forward to last year, when Antilola reached out to me. A lot had happened, in those 8 years. I'd given so much, not just myself, but a lot of people that had joined me on this delusional dream of using chess to change the world. And we had done a lot of things, and in the details of it, I understood how important it was to tell the stories of these children. I think that is what I would say was the most important thing, the most significant thing we did with social media. It was telling stories in a way that dignified the children rather than really focus or hyperfixate on the poverty. We all know the problems, we see it all the time. But there was a new layer of it that, someone had to tell. And that was very quickly a gift I knew that I had, to be able to tell these deeply compelling stories that would make people feel real empathy. There's a distinction between pitying a situation and feeling real empathy and compassion for it. So I think it was one of those stories that she saw when she reached out.
right? Why that for? I mean, I know I've read the memoir, but just to share a little bit with the women to express their emotions and so on. But he was born into a culture where there was no self-interrogation, where he didn't understand how to raise children. He didn't. There was no help for it either. And he was the dominant person in the relationship. So he wanted us to show love, but he didn't show us love. No, he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't love us. I think he did. I think he had that feeling inside him. But he didn't show it. When you're little kids, you know, somebody is very scary, and yet you have to go and give them a kiss on the cheek, you know. Yeah, it was challenging. Sorry, I can't get it going. Okay. It's a challenging process. So this is just a little bit basic on my childhood. I was a tomboy. I squashed between two brothers until they let me play with them until they did have more than bonded with each other more than they could bond with the girl.
At CBC, that's what I mean by that. And then now is in the educational space. So grateful to have Sonia here on the panel, and Jonas is going to be talking to us about his work. So now let's start with the architecture of bias. And with you, Adrian, I'm going to focus a lot on the structural bias. You've been on that side of the fence. You know how these things play out. 870 to 18 per civilian death, 870 to 18. Can you help us in this room understand what's the reasoning that goes into how we end up here? Are we talking about simply just editorial biases? Are we talking about money? Does it start in the newsroom itself? Is it a deeper reason? Help us from that space that you've occupied to understand how do we end up with numbers?
Briefed. I'm not very good at reading my work, but I will try. I'll start from the beginning, which is actually compared to Genesis. And I think I'm going to just tell you a bit about it. The beginning of my stories is very, very important to me. I try to make this. This is about 250 words, but it took me at least 250 rewrites to get into that. Just to make sure that it's every word counts, you know. So I'll read it, it's very close to my heart because of this blood and sweat. Okay. Genesis. Let them come for him during the Sunday service. They should wait for him to walk to the altar. Let him check that the cameras are placed as directed during rehearsal. Give him time to mumble some gibberish as prayers. Some in the congregation will swoon and the ushers will rush to break their falls. This is not the right moment. A lot is at stake. Arresting Bishop Jeremiah Dowd during his televised sermon is no joke. Timing and sequence are critical, so please follow the steps as we agreed. Start with my disappearance. You would have told everyone I traveled to be by myself. Let the police know this is a lie to cover why calls to my mobile phone are going to the voicemail. If they wave this away as insignificant, point them to the driver who never picked me up and my car still parked in the garage. They might claim I've not been missing long enough to suspect foul play. It's okay. Just make sure they get to the house. Leave the rest to me. At the Sunday service, let him urge the congregation to sit. Wait for him to welcome the viewers at home and ask everyone to turn their Bibles to the passages chosen to misread for the day. The more confident.
My nerves steady as I looked at the tribunal members, the courtiers of the diverting macabre drama I was about to watch. No question about it. I said to myself, this is a collection of deluded errand boys. This gang of General Sonia Archer's executioners. Some of them were mere criminals, yet They were parading themselves as the guardian of truth. These people, I guess, did not believe in the truth of what they are doing. It was merely a show of shameless bootlicking and complete absence of self-worth. For it was only a consciously corrupt or morally blind person that would collaborate with the evil schemes of Abacha. I felt like throwing a weapon, any weapon at them. Where is the General Patrick Aziza among them? I asked myself. Just then, the clerk of the court performed.
The man we are talking about, the man of the people, the man of honor. You see him in his book. The man that have confidence going to school anywhere, anytime. Doesn't want to, because if he suffer for it. So this is more like I'm supporting. That is one man called MOP, Movement of the People. MOP is the name of the fella party that he created then, but not allowed to register the party. When they saw the first rally that the land did, it was massive. They said no. If we allowed him to register the party, everyone would come out of the house because their area should know. The one that would go to church. The one that would be sentenced would be safe. So they said no.